I was just talking away. I don't know what to say. Say it anyway, yeah. Oh, hi. Hey, welcome. This week we're taking a look at what many people consider to be the defining song of the 80s, perhaps the definitive synth pop song of any era. It's an instantly recognized classic, well loved and frequently covered. But for a song that grabs your attention with its catchy melodies, it took a long time to reach the #1 spot on the charts and in our hearts. It was released in 1985, right in the middle of the decade. It is also central to any discussion regarding the greatest songs of that era. I'm talking about Take On Me by Norwegian superstars a-ha. So, grab your pipe wrench and join me once again for this week's 80s Song of the Day. Take On Me had existed at least in parts for nearly a decade before the song we know came to be. Long before a-ha had been formed, bits of it were initially written when two of a-ha's members, Magni, Furu-holmen and Woktar-Savoy, were in an earlier band called Bridges. Parts of it were incorporated into a Bridges track called Miss Eerie, a song most of the band actually referred to as the Juicy Fruit song, because it seemed so catchy, so poppy, it was like a commercial jingle. They actually weren't that fond of it, thinking at the time that the band needed a harder, rockier sound. When Mags and Pal recruited Morten Harket into the band in 1982, they moved to London in an attempt to get exposure, find management and a record deal. It was after hearing a demo of Take On Me that they got picked up on the spot by Andy Wickham, a talent scout for Warner Records. Once signed with Warner, they started work on their debut album Hunting High and Low. But there were tensions with their producer Tony Mansfield. Mansfield was really keen on arranging their music using a Fairlight computer, which was an early digital synthesizer and music sampler. The Fairlight computer musical instrument, to give it its full name, was invented right here in Australia, and it got its name from one of the hydrofoil ferries in Sydney Harbour. It was very popular with a number of musicians in the 80s, being used by artists such as Peter Gabriel, Duran Duran, Herbie Hancock, even Hans Zimmer. Mansfield mixed the track with electronic instrumentation using the Fairlight, but the sound was not what a-ha had wanted. They felt all the naturalness had been taken out of their original demo. The label went ahead and released it anyway, in 1984, along with an uninspired music video which did little to capture the public's imagination. Although, Harket's already got that smouldering look perfected. The single only charted at 137, the lowest chart performance of all a-ha songs. But Jeff Ehrhoff, an executive at Warner Records, was convinced that a-ha could become a thing and gave them the opportunity to re-record the song. Another producer, Alan Tarney, was brought in to polish it up, and when this new version was released in '85, it was also a failure. Ehrhoff then asked video producer Steve Barron to produce a second Take On Me video to accompany a slightly revamped version of the single. Steve Barron had also directed the video for Money for Nothing by Dire Straits, and the following year those two videos were the most nominated videos at MTV's VMAs, the Video Music Awards. In total, Take On Me received 8 nominations and won 6 awards. Money for Nothing got 11 nominations and won 2 awards, which they call Moon Men, by the way. One of which was the big one for Video of the Year. The animation technique in Take On Me's video is called rotoscoping, and it's been around for ages. Essentially, everything's shot as live action, and then animators, in this case Michael Patterson and Candice Reckinger, redrew each of the shots frame by frame. All in all, it took over 10,000 drawings and 4 months to produce the video. Actress Bunty Bailey plays the girl in the video who is so captivated by the comic book she's reading she gets, this is not a pun, drawn into the comic book world, where she and lead singer Harkett are chased by bad guys wielding pipe wrenches. He eventually saves her by pushing her back into the real world at great risk to himself. The live action shooting was done over 2 days in London and led to some real world magic happening as well. As they shot a particular scene where Harkett would take Bailey's hand and pull her across the set, Steve Barron recounts how he held onto her hand, pulled her across, and then I'd say, right, we need to do another one. And then we did take 2, take 3. By about take 4, they weren't letting go of each other's hands when we cut. Harkett and Bailey ended up dating for a couple of years after that. Bailey had started her career as a member of the 80s dance troupe Hot Gossip, famous for their appearances on the Kenny Everett Show in the early 80s. She also appeared in other music videos for artists such as Billy Idol, OMD, and a-ha's follow-up single, The Sun Always Shines on TV, as well as a number of movie roles. This final take on Me went #1 worldwide, but even then it was a long road to the top, slowly moving up the charts over the course of weeks, but eventually topping the charts here in Australia, as well as Austria, Belgium, Greece, Italy, 2 separate charts in the Netherlands, Sweden, Switzerland, the Billboard Hot 100 in the USA, West Germany, and their home country of Norway. It was #2 in the UK, Ireland, Canada, and Denmark, 3 in France, and #4 in Finland. In 2020, it became the 5th music video from the 20th century to reach 1 billion views on YouTube. So there you have it, Take On Me by a-ha. That's your 80s song of the day. I hope you enjoy it. How could you not? And that you'll join me next week as I take on another 80s song of the day.